singing sensation, singer songwriter R.L. is in the
What's
building.
poppin'? What's poppin'?
What's good, man? How you doing, man?
I'm just working, man. Trying to stay alive, you know?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. New joints that we just played, one of them was Mix Up Parson.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and the other one that we played previously.
This ain't you.
Ain't You.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. You put that all together yourself, huh?
Yeah, I arrange and record myself, mix myself. That's just from my new mixtape. The album, we about 90% done. It's called Minnesota Nights. It's almost done.
Minnesota Nights. I like that. I like that. Well, you definitely is, man. Who are some of the people that you're going to be working with for this new project?
Well, more so a lot of new producers. I might have B. Cox though on the joint. Who else? Man, really it's hard to say because I got probably 200 records that me and my team got to go through and figure out which ones I want to use. I'm probably going to put Royce the 5'9" on the joint because that's a good friend of mine.
Okay, that's a good collaboration right there.
Yeah, a couple people like that. Really, one thing about me and also with the group, we never really had a lot of features because we didn't want to be on stage performing and you wait for somebody to pop out and they don't, so you're disappointed. So if you really look at a lot of our records, we didn't have a lot of features, you know, maybe on a remix or something, but on the main joints, we really wasn't trying to do that.
Okay, now speaking of groups, a lot of people know you from the group Next.
Right.
You from Next, White.
Right.
Close.
Right.
You didn't think about What a Love.
That's
What a
right.
Love was a song that a lot of people made babies off of. Too Close made you want to back that thing up in the club. And then White people makes a brother or more like a brother go sit down with me and be like, baby, I just want to spend the rest of my life with you. I leave my current girlfriend just to marry you, girlfriend. Yeah, man. So you all made a lot of classic hits over the years. Tell the listeners out there that don't know a little history behind that.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of people, first off, let me say this. People think that, you know, we're broken up or something, and, you know, the group is still together. We're working on that album, too. It's called Music 101. It's just three brothers. Two of them are from Gary, and I'm from Minneapolis. And we just, you know, decided to come out and do something. We just love music, singing in church, and we just put it together, and the rest is history.
Knocktown in the building. My stepdad's from Gary.
Oh, yeah, my group members are from Gary. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. You think of Michael.
Not now. You go to Gary, boy. Right. It ain't no Michael's. Boy.
Gary is like obsolete now.
It's crazy out there. It ain't no joke out in Gary.
Nobody on the corner no more, huh?
Right.
Man. Boy.
Man.
That's what I'm talking about. And you also a songwriter down in for the next one. You also song written or wrote songs for different artists.
Yeah. Like Jay Holiday, Lloyd, Usher, Luther, Just In Case and Anything for Jaheim. Pretty much all the next singles. Brother, Ideal. It's a lot of people, man. People, you know, always ask me, so do you still sing? What are you doing? I just learned that the business side is so much more lucrative, and I've been behind the scenes, but, you know, my fan base has really been on me about putting out some more material. So I was like, you know, let's just go on in the studio and do it. It's funny because when you look at a lot of like black artists or urban artists, they got to put out projects every 6 months, every year, because that's the only way they can tour. My group was blessed enough to have some of the biggest records of our time, so that we can tour forever off those records, kind of like maybe Kool and the Gang, or my cousin is in Earth, Wind and Fire, he's Philip Bailey. I wanted to do timeless records, so people are on us about putting out new material, but we really didn't have to rush back in the studio to do it because we could still eat off records we did 10 years ago. So when you think about groups from, you know, the late 90s, you don't even really mention Next. You know, Jagged, you know, 112, Drew Hill, because urban side, we didn't get a lot of the credit. We were more on MTV side. We were on TRL, and we were more international. You know, and those are some of my favorite groups, not to take anything away from them, but with three albums, really, we sold, you know, comparative to other groups with 5 and 6 and 7 albums. And it's hard because, you know, within our own people, we don't get the credit, or they don't know the history of how big we really were and how many records we really sold. But it's cool.
You know, it's more fun because a couple of weeks ago, we back in the day, I remember when one of my favorites was the R&B male groups from back in the day, like the
Right.
The Jagged Edge.
We also mentioned you as well, you know, because you are as big. You're not still big to our eyes.
Exactly.
Y'all still big to us to this very day. So let me ask you this: how's it feel to be solo now? Is it real? I know it's different.
It's lonely, man. To be honest, I do both. The truth is, a lot of people look at the solo thing and go, "Is it egotistical? What is it?" Really, what it is I like music. I'm from the Midwest, so we had a mixture. And within Next, we have a certain image, and I really wanted to be able to do other things outside of that box. So that's what made me want to do, another solo album. It's nothing against the group. I actually prefer the group. When you're on the road, you're away from home, it's lonely, to be honest. You want somebody to share with, whether it's your friends. Like, my manager's one of my best friends. You want somebody around you that keeps you humble and keeps you in a proper space, because it can, when you're on the road, you're tired, a lot of things happen. And that's another reason I decided to call the album Minnesota Nights. Because when I was younger, I tried to commit suicide. And I used to always lay up at night and wonder what was my purpose. And what kept me alive was me dreaming that I would make it in music. Like, I would want to end my life, I'd want to do crazy stuff, but God would be like, no, just keep at it, you're gonna make it. And coming from somewhere like Minnesota, if you want Prince, we're from another generation. If it wasn't Prince at the time or something like that, people didn't expect us coming from there. That's another reason we're called Next. It stands for no one ever expected this. So whenever my ego gets big, or whenever I don't want to do something, I think back to those Minnesota nights that I was laying in the bed dreaming of being where I am now and further. So that's why I named it that.
Well, to this day, how do you still carry your inspiration? Being in the game for so long, how do you